Go ahead and get started. If folks could please take their seats. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I now call to order this special meeting of the Anchorage Assembly. It is Friday, January 6, 2023. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, Madam Chair. Ms. Allard. Mr. Solt.
Here.
Mr. Perez-Verdia.
Here.
Mr. Rivera.
Present.
Mr. Cross.
Here.
Ms. LaFrance.
Here.
Mr. Constant.
Here.
Ms. Zolotel.
Here.
Ms. Quinn Davidson.
Here.
Mr. Voland.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Vice Chair, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Peterson, would you read the land acknowledgement, please?
Certainly, Madam Chair. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement recognizing the indigenous people of a place. It's a public gesture of appreciation for the past and present indigenous stewardship of the lands that we now occupy. It's an actionable statement that marks our collective movement towards decolonization and equity. The Anchorage Assembly would like to acknowledge that we gathered today on the traditional lands of the Dena'ina Athabascans. For thousands of years, the Dena'ina have been and continue to be the stewards of this land. It is with gratefulness and respect that we recognize the contributions, innovations, and contemporary perspectives of the Upper Cook Inlet Dena'ina.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We have two items on the agenda. The first is 4A, appointment of member to fill Assembly Seat H, followed by item 4B, administering the oath of office. Before I ask for a motion, I want to note that the last time the Assembly conducted an appointment to the Assembly was December 2018, and then again in November 2019. The code outlining the process for appointing a candidate to the Assembly was nearly entirely rewritten per AO 2019-89S. The Clerk's Office is administering the code as currently written, and much of this is a new process for everyone to be carrying out. I also want to note that a majority vote of 7 will be required in order for a candidate to be appointed to this seat. Per AMC 2.70.020B.4, the Assembly shall commence voting on the appointment immediately after the motion to fill the vacancy has passed, so there can be no debate after the vote on the motion to fill the vacancy. So at this time, may I have a motion to fill the vacancy?
Move to fill the vacancy.
Second.
A motion to fill the vacancy has been made by Mr. Constant. It has been seconded by Mr. Perez-Verdia. Is that correct? There is no, or actually, Madam Clerk, is this a debatable motion? This is a debatable motion. Seeing no members in the queue, members may proceed to vote on the motion to fill the vacancy. The motion to fill the vacancy is approved 10-0. At this time, the election team will be passing out ballots to each assembly member. Please vote for a candidate and also include your name in the line provided on the ballot.
Point of information, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Rivera. What is your procedural question?
Thanks. So I'm not opposed to this, but I'm curious, why do these forms have assembly member name on them?
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. A line for names is included because of an interpretation of the Open Meetings Act that says votes shall be conducted in such a manner that the public may know the vote of each person entitled to vote. So if it becomes a question, the ballots are preserved and the information may be provided. Ms. Hines, would you read the result, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. After tabulation, we tabulated 5 votes for Joey Sweet, 2 votes for Hillary Morgan, 2 votes for Harry Crawford, and 1 vote for Jim Wojciechowski, and 0 votes for Rich Foner. With no vote for Mr. Foner and the lowest number of votes for Mr. Wojciechowski, Mr. Foner and Mr. Wojciechowski are eliminated pursuant to code. This leaves 3 candidates, Mr. Sweet, Ms. Morgan, and Mr. Crawford. And pursuant to Anchorage Municipal Code, that moves us to ranked choice voting at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Madam Chair, after our round of ranked choice voting, Joey Sweet had 5 votes, Harry Crawford had 2 votes, and Hillary Morgan had 2 votes. Anchorage Municipal Code, I apologize, Joey Sweet had 6 votes, Hillary Morgan had 2 votes, and Harry Crawford had 2 votes. Hillary and Harry were tied. Anchorage Municipal Code 270020 B5GIA says, in the event of a tie between applicants, the one with the least original second-ranked choices is eliminated. If the second-ranked choices are also tied, this process shall repeat. After recalculating, Hillary was eliminated. I'm sorry, after recalculating, Harry Crawford had 5 second ranks and Hillary Morgan had 4 ranks. 1 ballot was exhausted. Hillary was eliminated. The ballots were reallocated per the second rank. Joey Sweet had 6 votes and Harry Crawford had 4 votes. Anchorage Municipal Code 270020 BG2 says the eliminated applicants will be stricken from the ballot, and the next round of ballots is being distributed with Mr. Sweet and Mr. Crawford on the ballot for voting.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. And I want to thank the candidates who have been eliminated for the interest in serving our community. Very much appreciate your willingness to serve.
After that round of voting, Mr. Sweet has 7 votes and Mr. Crawford has 3 votes. Mr. Sweet has the majority required by code and has been appointed.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Congratulations to Mr. Sweet, and thank you to those candidates who were willing to serve our community. We are grateful for your interest and your desire to serve. With that, we will move to administering the oath of office. Ms. Jones? And Mr. Sweet, if you would please come forward to the podium.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I solemnly swear or affirm
I solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Alaska,
the Constitution of the State of Alaska,
and the Charter of the Municipality of Anchorage,
and the Charter of the Municipality of Anchorage,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of Anchorage Assembly Member
the duties of Anchorage Assembly Member
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You have to read that all, Joey.
Congratulations and welcome, Mr. Sweet. We will go ahead and proceed with our agenda. We have 5 minutes left, and we now are at audience participation. Are there any members of the public who wish to participate? If so, please come forward. Seeing no one, we will move to Assembly member comments. I'll start to my left with Mr. Voland.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just say I was very impressed with your answers, Mr. Sweet. I appreciate you going through this process, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mr. Voland. Mr. Peterson?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and congratulations to my new East Side colleague. You have big shoes to fill, and I think we'll make a good team here. This is my last 4 months as well, so you and I should work well together and try to get as much accomplished as we can in this short period of time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Ms. Quinn Davidson?
Welcome. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Ms. Quinn-Davidson. Ms. Zelatel?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Welcome. I do look forward to working with you, and I had volunteered with the chair that if you want to review over your binder between now and our work session here in a little bit, I'm happy to do that. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Zelatel. Mr. Constant?
Thank you, also welcome, and I would be remiss if I didn't remark that we're meeting today on the 6th of January, which is a landmark, one of the darkest days of our nation's history. And I commemorate the fact that our democracy is resilient and that we will get past all of these arguments about, fake arguments about fraudulent elections. And I would say that I'm inspirited, and my spirit feels bigger today that we had an election here, and it's done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Constant. Mr. Cross?
Looking forward to working with you, Mr. Sweet. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mr. Cross. Mr. Rivera?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Glad to see that ranked choice worked in this specific scenario. I was a little bit concerned about how that might work out, but congrats, elections team. Welcome, Mr. Sweet. Looking forward to having more youthful representation on this assembly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Mr. Presverdia?
I'm not sure how to respond to that comment. Welcome. Looking forward to working with you. Also appreciated the process. Thank you for doing that so well, and looking forward to the rest of the meetings today.
Thank you, Mr. Presverdia. Mr. Solt?
Great. Welcome as always, and great body, and I'm sure everyone's here to help, so if you need anything or have questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you, Mr. Solt. Mr. Sweet?
Yeah, thank you for the confidence that you've all shown in me. I'm humbled. I'm honored. I'm really going to make the absolute most of this. I'm going to treat this as a full-time job. I'm going to have some phone calls I got to make here real quick to get all of the particulars sorted out, but I'm really going to do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sweet, and I will just echo my colleagues and welcome you to the body, and also thanking the elections team, in particular Ms. Hines, for your work. I think that went very well. And I guess I'll just make a comment. You know, I was kind of moved by the discussions about civility, and I'm really happy that we seem to be moving in a direction towards civility again, and I hope that will continue. And Felix, you went there. And with that...
That's what us young people do.
Older person moves to adjourn.
Second.
We are adjourned.
Second.